Hey, welcome to Ascend B2B Sales Podcast. This is James Jacoby, your host. You are watching episode 1. Today, we are talking about lead generation. Everything you want to know with lead generation, we are going to get into it today. We're going to rip it apart, give you some practical strategies you can use right away in your business. But first, let's watch the freaking awesome intro. All right, guys, welcome to the Ascend B2B Sales Podcast show. Today, we are going to talk about mastering lead generation systems and strategies for your business. This is a podcast that you're going to want to tune into. We are going to come to you live twice a week for a long time. We got over 26 episodes planned out already, and we just want to bring you valuable content that you can listen to over lunch hour or during your work day and just take some notes and say, dang, that was a good idea. I want to go use that right now. Perfect. That's exactly what we want this to be. It's not something that's theory based. It's not something that's not going to be something that you can use right away in your business. We're in the weeds with you guys. We're running our own company here at Ascend. Ascend is a sales enablement and digital marketing company here in New Jersey. We've been in business for over 5 years. We're a 7-figure company now, and we are all about how do you do sales and marketing better today than you did yesterday. We ask that question every day in our company, and we test stuff out. We try stuff out. We share what works. We share what doesn't work, and we're going to do that all across this show every time we come to you. So thanks for tuning in. Let me know where you're from. Feel free to make comments. We're going to do some Q&A at the end of the show today. And just so you know, we're going to do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 12:15 Eastern. And so come back on Thursday. We're going to talk about sales and marketing alignment, bridging the gap for higher conversions. So let's start out though with what do you guys do for lead gen right now? All right. What do you do for lead gen right now? I know it's it's a topic that gets thrown around loosely. You hear it a lot. Um, I will tell you that let's make it really simple, right? You have inbound and you have outbound lead generation tactics and strategies that you can put in your business, right? You have paid and you have organic, right? So, what are the lead gen strategies that you use today? And what's working for you? What's working for you and why? What isn't working for you and why? And I'm going to ask a lot of questions that you'll have to think about as you listen to this that you might want to answer on the fly. You might want to say, that was a good question, James. I'm going to come back and think about that later. But I'm going to take a note. Great. This is for you. So, um, I'm going to challenge you on things to think about in your company because we want you to take this information and use it right now. Whether it's if you're the business owner and you are the operator still in your company, or if you have a sales or marketing professional um, person in your business that you can hand this to, we want you to share this information to make your business better right away. And we want feedback too. If you got thoughts or feedback on what we're talking about on the topic, please put it in the comments. We will answer those possibly during the show. If not, we'll do it after. So thanks for coming today. So let's break this down though. So how do you master lead gen? Some of this is going to be fairly obvious. Some of this is going to be, things that we really need to pay attention to that we just aren't really doing. And that seems to be the challenge in most cases. From what we see with business owners is, and anyone running 7-8 figure companies right now, operating their sales and marketing, there's a lot of things you should do, but it's not getting done or it's not getting done well. And we need to figure out why that is because sales and marketing are literally your twin tickets to freedom. Sales and marketing are your fuel that generates the revenue and the cash flow to drive your business. So these are really important areas to get right. And we need to take some time to sit in it and think through what is it that's going to make our business better than what we're doing today. So let's start with the first thing is you got to have a targeted approach to define your ideal customer profile. What is that? There has to be one. There has to be one. We cannot serve everybody, even though you might want to. It doesn't work that way. We gotta pick a niche or two, or think about the types of what we call personas, right? What's your buyer's persona? Where are they from? What kind of company do they work in? What industry are they in? What's their role in the company? Who's the typical buyer that you sell to? What's their role, their title? Uh, what's their situation? What kind of situations does your buyer typically come into that then requires to purchase your service or your product? What are the challenges and the things that come up in their business that make them think, man, I really need to change, or I really need to get this thing to help us with that? Whatever that is for you, that's your persona. We have got to define who that is and really, like, if you want to make it simple, just open up a Word doc and start pointing out the traits of your ideal audience. Who is it, right? Who is it? And that should be all of your content, all your marketing, all your talk tracks. They have got to address concerns and the thoughts and the desires and the outcomes of what that audience wants. Period. Right? So that's targeting, right? Target approach, being specific. So once we understand who that is, then we can go into tailoring marketing campaigns and writing new copy and adjusting the language so we can figure out what is a good hook for that audience. we can't write good hooks and we can't write good copy unless you know who the audience is first, right? And the audience, if you're selling to more than one, really ask yourself, like, is the marketing you're putting out there effective enough? Like, is it really addressing that specific audience? Or is it kind of like all over the place? Is it spray and pray? Is it going everywhere? It should be really in tune with that specific audience. And you might need to make multiple marketing campaigns if you got more than one persona. That's okay. But really understand, hey, do we have a clear picture on who it is exactly that we're selling and marketing to? Because our marketing language has to reflect that, period. I know a lot of you know that, and that might be basic, but hey, check the checker. Like, look at your social media, look at your emails that are going out, look at what you're saying on your cold calls. If you do that, like, your ads, is it really nailing and speaking towards your persona? If not, let's adjust right now, because that is holding you back from getting more leads right now. So that's step one, targeted approach. Number two is multi-channel marketing. This is something that we talk about a lot at Ascend. In B2B, the traditional multi-channel marketing that we subscribe to is really, you have email, you have some top social media channels like LinkedIn, you have the phone. The phone still works amazingly well in follow-up to marketing. So we use those three as our multi-channel marketing approach. A lot of folks will also include in there maybe your website, if you get down forms on your website that people fill out, or maybe it's some type of subscriber base that you keep up with on email, whatever that is. But typically in B2B, the three most popular ones that a lot of sales companies use, sales forces use, is the phone, email, and LinkedIn. So we talk about that a lot. But it could be other things too. It could be ads, it could be SEO, it could be numerous different things that you use for multi-channel marketing. But whatever it is, we need to do it well. We need to do it well. Doing it well means that we have a plan and we have a system and we have a way to measure that plan. We need to know when we execute a marketing strategy and we're doing outbound marketing, what's a win? What's the outcome that we want? I know the answer for almost everybody is, well, we just want more leads. Sure. Like, that's part of it, right? But we need to really start to measure our business, guys. And what are the KPIs, the key performance indicators of your marketing plan? How are you measuring that? What's the data that you're tracking? Where do you track it? Do you have it on a spreadsheet? Do you have it in a CRM? What are you using to track your marketing information so you know if stuff's working or it's not working? If it's email, right? Open rate percentages, click rate percentages, reply percentages. Are you tracking that? And are you measuring that? Are you tracking the effectiveness of your subject lines? Are you A/B split testing stuff? There's a lot to look into when you think about how do you market. You A/B split test your email copy, your email subject lines. You A/B split test your social media copy. You gotta try different things, right? One thing that I always tell business owners when we're talking about marketing is, look, marketing is more of a puzzle, right? We're always playing around, we're moving things around. We want to test and measure stuff all the time, because marketing is really about understanding the science of your business. It's knowing what is the market, what is your personas, what are they responding to with your marketing, and what are they not responding to. And we need to know that. We need to measure that. We need to talk about that every week in our internal leadership meetings with our staff that run that play, that run your marketing. What's going on? What's the numbers? What does it look like? And realize too, like if you're really struggling to put together an effective marketing campaign, make it simple, right? Everything should be chunked down into months and quarters. Keep it simple, right? You may call this rocks if you're familiar with scaling up the gazelles, the Rockefeller habits. Those great books, if you don't know what those are, highly recommend. Those are great. But when we think about strategic business planning, strategic marketing planning, we want to think about what are the rocks or the priorities of our marketing by quarter for the year and for the month. And that way, then we can think through, okay, like what are we really trying to get accomplished here? Obviously, we want to see leads come in as we do this. But the bottom line, guys, is if you're going to fast forward a quarter from now, 6 months from now, you don't want to be in the same spot then where you're saying to yourself, I don't know what's working and why. We don't know the answer to that still. Like that should never ever happen. You should know exactly what's working and why because you're measuring it and you're tracking it. And it may still not be the most effective strategy that you got. You still may not like the outcome that you even have, but the place to start is you got to measure it. You got to measure all the time, every day, every week, what you're doing. That's the only way you're going to learn how your marketing systems and strategies are doing and how they're not doing, period. So, multi-channel marketing, there's a lot of options, but pick what you're good at, pick what you can be consistent at, and pick what you can measure. Those are the three things that you got to keep that consistent, and you got to do it consistently for at least 90 days, no matter what. So if you get a lot of people selling to you on helping you market your business, which I'm sure you get because we do it too, really talk to your vendors or your strategic partners that are trying to sell you on their services. Really talk to them about what's the roadmap here, guys. Like when you work with clients, how do we know if we're on track 90 days from now, 180 days from now, 9 months from now? Like, how do you guys really assess success and progress and report and measure this stuff? Because what we don't want to see, because I hear it all the time, I see it all the time, right? And you may have experienced this yourself. We don't want to dump tons of money into something, tons of money into ads, or tons of money into whatever solution. Wake up 3 months later and it doesn't work. Or wake up 3 months later, we didn't learn anything. So we didn't really gain any intellectual knowledge of our learning on that investment. Like you got to be able to know going in, it may or may not work, despite whatever the promise is. It may or may not work, but is there accountability and measurement around how we execute this and learn from it in real time so that no matter what happens, even in failure, you're going to learn a lot and you're going to get better at marketing your company, period. So that might be a different response than you're used to hearing from someone like me, but I'm here to tell you that marketing is failing forward and learning. It is a test all the time. And when you finally figure out something that does work, oh my God, double down on that and freaking do it more and push that more. So you want to find the things that win. You want to find the things that work. And when they do more of it and see if you lean into it more, if it gets you more, or maybe your assumption was wrong. But key word there is assumption. Don't assume anything about marketing. You got to test stuff and really listen to what the market's telling you, even if it's not what you want to hear. And don't pay attention to the news and the cycles and all that stuff. I mean, it's good to know, but the best news for your own business is your customers, your clients, and doing lots of marketing and getting lots of market feedback. That is the best information you could ever get for your business ever, all the time. Listen to that and you're going to be in a good spot. So let's move to our last topic for today on lead generation, which is lead nurturing and conversion. So um, how many times do you run campaigns and you start to get leads coming in and then they just die? They just go away, or you get them coming in and from whatever, wherever, from ads, from social media posts, from emails, from calls, whatever, and you don't follow up. You don't follow up at all. You don't follow up for a couple days, for a couple weeks, whatever. Like, you just don't follow up. Lead nurturing is a huge, huge problem in businesses. And it's a problem because, again, we'll talk about this a million times on this podcast because it's so important. But it's because there's no systems. That's what's going on. There's no systems, there's no accountability, and there's no one running it and doing it consistently. If you have a lead nurture system, you're going to convert more leads. I know that's like a shocking statement, but it's going to happen, right? Why? Because you're consistent on a system. If the system doesn't work over time, we can change it. But you got to commit to a lead nurture system, which starts with making sure you're capturing the leads and putting them in a place where you can keep track of them. Most people would say that the answer to that, and that we would too, is a CRM. You want to put them in a CRM, a HubSpot, a Salesforce, a Go High Level, which is what we use. We love Go High Level. And if you want to learn more about that, I'll tell you about that. They're a great partner for us. Pipe Drive. There's a million different CRMs out there. But bottom line is, it doesn't, at the end of the day, I'll tell you, it doesn't really matter what it is. It matters how you use it. You got to be in there every day. You got to be managing your leads every day, tracking them, looking at them. It's no different than looking at your financial reports, hopefully every day, and seeing what cash is coming in, what cash is coming out in your business. Or your best lead opportunities. You're looking at your sales opportunities. What are the best deals on the table? You're looking at that every day, and you're asking yourself, what's the move? What's the next move on that deal? It's no different with leads. You got to look. You got to first bring them in, hopefully into the CRM. If not, we'll share with you how to do that. But you definitely want to bring your leads from all these different places into your CRM so you can track them there. And then you want a deal board. We'll get into this on future podcasts. And I'll give you some visuals you can use that of what a good deal board looks like. But you want something that's really easy to manage, that moves left to right, easy to track, and you can visually see how your lead pipeline is shaping up. But you got to think through, what's the buyer experience or the customer journey experience with a lead? So the moment they hit your website and they fill out a form, or they get your email and they click on something, or they see a social media post and they comment on it, wherever your leads are coming from, there's got to be some connectivity to where they started. And then you pick them up and you take them on a journey. You take them through, you take them to the next thing. You say, hey, I see you. Thanks for checking us out. I want to learn more about you. And what information can I get for you today? Or, I want to learn more about your business. A lot of people will begin to sell super hard and get just go all in on selling what it is that you do. Most businesses that I see don't slow down just a little bit and ask some of those questions, right? They don't slow down and say, hey, thanks for checking us out. I want to learn more about you. Tell me more about your business. What brought you here today? What's top of mind for you right now on addressing in your business? What do you want to grow and fix and change? How different do you want your business to be even a few months from now? What does that look like? Like, man, can you imagine if more people ask those questions? You learn all sorts of stuff on what is really in their heads. And it will tell you exactly how you should position then your product or services if it still fits. Maybe the things that they want in their business, or maybe the things they're struggling with, don't apply to you anymore. That's okay. At least you asked. But we got to come up with some personalized, targeted, strategic follow-ups in our lead nurture conversations so that we can then start to turn this, and we're going to get into this topic next week more on aligning and sales and marketing. Now we're starting to shape up and tee up stuff for sales. We're starting to give sales some really, really good meat, some really, really good qualified lead information so that they can sell more effectively. But it starts on the lead nurture side. How do you nurture your leads right now? Do you follow up with them via text, via email, via phone call, via social media, all of the above? I will tell you, as a buyer, we were looking at a phone system a year ago, and for our company, for our sales force, and we made a post. And if you go through my LinkedIn feed, you'll find it eventually. It's on there actually. But we made a LinkedIn post, and we said we're looking for a phone software. And I made a couple posts on Facebook, LinkedIn, and then and then I even clicked on a couple ads and was trying stuff out. There was like 5 companies that responded like pretty much right away via email, almost all the time. Phone call, most phone call. Left voicemail, yeah, voicemail is still a thing. A couple texted me. And then there was one, I think, that replied directly on the social media post as well. And so I thought it was interesting because it told me right away, out of that market's competition of 5 companies, within my own buying experience, I had a totally different experience within 5 companies in a matter of minutes from lead follow-up. There was only one company that did all of those, that did SMS text follow-up, email follow-up, phone call follow-up, social media post follow-up. They did it all. And for me, the busy business owner, I went on with my day. I had stuff to do. But when I remembered about that later in the day, the first place I looked was my phone. And who was on my phone? The text messages. And then the comments on social media. Like I got notifications and stuff, right? So I'm like, all right, well, I'll just text them back and see if they're open to having a call right now, because your energy and your time is the most precious thing. You only have time to look and talk to stuff when you have time to look and talk to stuff. So I had a minute. I texted back, and sure enough, this person was on it. They called me right away, got me into a Zoom meeting, and then they finished the sale and they closed me. It was great. It was a perfect example of lead nurture and conversion. Is as soon as you get a hot lead, you have got to be all over that with multi-channel follow-up and get that person on the phone or talking to you via DM or text as soon as possible. So the last thing on this that we'll close out on is, we call this lead scoring. So just because we get a lead doesn't mean a lead's good. It doesn't. Leads coming in are not always good. Leads that want to learn more are not necessarily always good. We need to score them. Lead scoring. We call this lead scoring. Do you have a lead scoring tool or a process in your lead nurture system? What I mean by that is, when a lead comes in, do you have somebody looking at that lead and then using your persona criteria that we talked about at the beginning of the podcast? Do they match up and check off all the boxes of, yes, this is an ideal persona client, prospective client. We are good. This is an aligned, good. We call this a green lead. Is it a good lead? If it is, then it's worth obviously doing all the follow-up and getting a meeting set, or however you sell your services or whatever. But you got to lead score your leads. There's got to be a process that, and then if they're not qualified because they don't fit your persona or they don't fit whatever their criteria is, then you dump them over into your not qualified bin in your CRM, and then you move on, right? But there's got to be some kind of lead scoring system early in your process when you get leads, so that you're efficient and you're not going to waste time on leads that don't make sense for you. There's too many of you still out there that are taking sales calls with unqualified leads, and then you're talking about your deal pipeline, and you think it's fuller than it is, and you're not closing as much, and your deals fall through, or they tell you later that they don't really have the money for it, or they're not interested in it, or whatever. It's because we didn't do some of the nurturing and the lead scoring and the learning of the lead early in the process. If you do that piece better, your back end will be so much smoother. You'll make more sales. You'll only take really good sales calls that really matter and really are qualified, so it's worth your time. You're not going to have a full calendar of sales appointments that don't make sense, which a lot of people still do. You don't want to do that. So lead scoring. If you don't have a lead scoring process, message us. We got all sorts of collateral and ideas and recommendations on how to lead score your leads. So, guys, if this was valuable for you, we want to send you some things. We want to help you. There we go. We want to help you give some ideas into your business. If you want some ideas on how to put together a better lead generation system for your own company yourself, not even having to buy new stuff or implement new things, just use what you got better. Text 9 to sales, text that right there on the screen if you see it, 973-310-2803. Text that number, sales, and we will get you guys some follow-up on some strategies on how to do better lead gen, how to do lead scoring, and how to check to see if you got the right CRM set up for your lead management system. We'll give you lots of ideas on that, lots of recommendations that you can use right now to put in your company. So great to see everybody today. Thanks for tuning in to the Ascend B2B Sales Podcast. We're wrapping this one up. We'll see you on Thursday at 12:15 Eastern. We're going to talk about how to better align your sales and your marketing so they are right in sync with each other. It's going to be more value, more content. So thanks for tuning in. Share this out if it was valuable to you. We'll see you next time.